So a chiral molecule and its mirror image are known as enantiomers, sometimes also optical isomers. We'll get to that in just a minute. And enantiomers are a special type of stereoisomer, and they are always mirror images of one another. Now, enantiomers have many of the same physical properties. They have the same melting point, they have the same solubility in water, something known as an isoelectric point, they have the same density. They're very difficult to separate. However, one way that they differ is they interact differently with polarized light. There is an instrument that you can dissolve this chemical in and put polarized light through it, and one enantiomer will rotate the polarized light in one direction, and the other enantiomer will rotate the light in the other direction. So if the enantiomer that rotates the light to the right is known as the D, or positive enantiomer, and the other that rotates the polarized light to the left is the L. You have to do this experimentally. You have to have this particular instrument to figure out which enantiomer is which. So when we look on paper, we look at the structure here, our two enantiomers. It's really difficult to determine which is which, but biological systems know the difference for. And this is a very sort of famous example, if you will, for enantiomers. On the left we have L-carvone. Here's the ketone. That's why it ends in an -one. Also has two alkene functionalities. There's only one chiral carbon in this molecule. The L enantiomer is a flavoring that's found in spearmint, gives it its characteristic minty flavor, whereas D-carvone is found in caraway and gives it its characteristic flavor. And these two are very, very different flavors, and one is just merely the mirror image of the other, but that orientation in space, that different orientation in space, has a profound impact on how biological systems interact with that molecule. Another important place where enantiomers come into play is in therapeutic drugs. So this happens a lot, actually. On the left we have L-ethambutol. Here's the OH where that all comes from, and it's used to treat tuberculosis, so it's therapeutic, but its enantiomer, D-ethambutol, causes blindness. So this is not an isolated case. There are many, many circumstances where drugs are determined and only one enantiomer is therapeutic while the other turns out to be quite dangerous. Another example of a chiral molecule is vitamin E. When we synthesize vitamin E in the lab, we make both the D and the L enantiomer, but our body only uses one type. So when you buy synthesized vitamin E, its price is generally half that of vitamin E that's found from natural sources, because the natural source of vitamin E only makes the kind, or the enantiomer that our body can take. So that's why natural vitamin E is about twice as expensive as the vitamin E that is synthesized in the lab, because half of what you buy when it's synthesized in the lab is the enantiomer that our body cannot use.